Don't move. Follow me, now. The little boy grabbed the millionaire's hand just as he stepped out of his black SUV. Daniel Hayes froze. Who are you? The boy didn't answer. He glanced toward the luxury hotel entrance, then urgently pulled Daniel toward a narrow alley. You have to trust me. Daniel almost laughed. He was one of the richest men in the city, surrounded by security, and now a 12-year-old. Stranger was ordering him around, but something in the boy's terrified eyes made him follow. They had barely turned the corner when a deafening crash shook the street. Daniel spun around. His hotel entrance had been shattered. Glass covered the pavement. His security team rushed toward the scene. Daniel stared in disbelief. The boy slowly released his hand. If you had walked inside? He stopped, looking toward the ruined entrance. You wouldn't be alive. Daniel's face went pale. Then the boy whispered something that made the millionaire's blood run cold. My mom told me this would happen, and she knew your name. Before we uncover why this boy risked everything to save a millionaire he had never met, please like this video, share it with someone who believes kindness can come from the most unexpected person, and subscribe to Kindness Corner Stories. And tell us in the comments, which city and country are you watching from? Daniel stared at the boy. What did you just say? The boy looked toward the shattered hotel entrance before answering. My mom knew your name. Daniel's security chief. Marcus immediately stepped between them. Sir, get behind me. Daniel raised a hand. No, let him talk. The boy swallowed. My name is Noah. My mom works at your hotel. Daniel studied him. What's her name? Sarah Miller. Daniel's expression changed. He recognized the name. Sarah was one of the housekeeping employees who had worked at the hotel for nearly 7 years. She rarely complained, always arrived early, and had once returned an expensive watch a guest accidentally left in a room. How did your mother know I was coming today? Daniel asked. Noah shook his head. She didn't know exactly. She just told me that if I ever saw you near the hotel and something felt wrong, I had to stop you. Marcus looked suspicious. Why would she say that? Noah reached into his backpack and pulled out a folded piece of paper. My mom wrote this last night. Daniel opened it. His eyes moved across the page. Daniel Hayes. Trust. No one wearing a black security badge. Daniel immediately looked toward Marcus. Marcus's face hardened. That's ridiculous. Noah stepped backward. My mom said not to trust him. Marcus reached for his radio. Daniel stopped him. Wait, Police officer approached from the hotel entrance. Mr. Hayes, we need to speak with you. Daniel looked at the destroyed doorway. What happened? Someone placed an explosive device near the entrance. Fortunately, the blast happened before anyone entered the lobby. Daniel's jaw tightened. Was anyone hurt? 2 security officers suffered minor injuries. They looked at Noah. The boy's eyes filled with tears. My mom is still inside. Daniel immediately turned toward the hotel. Marcus grabbed his arm. Sir, the building isn't secure. My employee is in there. We don't know if there are more devices. Daniel looked at Noah. Where is your mother? Basement laundry room. Daniel's face tightened. The hotel had been evacuated, but the basement was still inaccessible because the security system had locked the emergency doors. Then Noah suddenly pulled another object from his backpack, a small metal key my mom gave me. This. Daniel stared at it. What does it open? The basement door. Marcus stepped forward. Give me that. Noah immediately hid behind Daniel. Daniel looked at Marcus. Don't, the billionaire. Suddenly realized something terrifying. Someone had tried to kill him. Someone had known his schedule. And someone inside. His own security team might have helped make it possible. But before Daniel could decide what to do, his phone rang. The caller ID showed Sarah Miller, he answered. Her voice came through in a whisper. Mr. Hayes, please listen carefully. Then the line went dead. Daniel stared at his phone. Sarah? Nothing. He tried calling back, but the call went straight to voicemail. Noah grabbed his sleeve. We have to get her. Daniel nodded. Marcus immediately stepped forward. Sir, I strongly advise against entering the building. Daniel looked at him. You're right. Marcus seemed relieved. Then Daniel handed him the phone. You stay here and coordinate with the police. Marcus froze. Daniel turned toward two other security. Officers, you're coming with me, Marcus. Watch them disappear toward the basement entrance. His expression remained unreadable. Inside, emergency lights flashed along the dark corridor. The hotel was eerily quiet. Noah walked ahead, clutching the metal key. How do you know where you're going? My mom showed me. They reached a locked service door. Noah inserted the key. Click, the door opened. Daniel's heart pounded. Sarah? No answer. They moved deeper into the basement, then they heard a faint banging sound. Mom! Noah ran toward a storage room. Daniel followed. Sarah was trapped behind a metal security gate. Her wrists were tied and her face was bruised. Noah! The boy rushed toward her. Daniel quickly freed her. What happened? Sarah looked at Daniel. I tried to warn you. Who did this? She hesitated. Then she pointed toward the ceiling. Cameras. Daniel looked up. A small red light blinked. Someone is watching us. Sarah's voice trembled. I discovered something 3 weeks ago. What? She looked at Noah. I found a hidden room behind the executive office. There were files, recordings, schedules. Daniel's expression hardened. Whose files? Yours, Sarah continued. Someone has been tracking your movements for months. Your meetings, your travel plans, even your family. Daniel felt a chill. Did you see who was behind it? Sarah nodded. I saw him once. Who? Before she could answer, the basement lights went out. Noah screamed. A door slammed somewhere behind. Then Daniel immediately pulled Sarah and Noah behind a stack of storage crates. Footsteps approached. Slow, deliberate. Sarah whispered one word. Marcus, Daniel's eyes widened. You're sure? Sarah nodded. I saw him accessing the hidden room. The footsteps stopped. A man's voice echoed through the darkness. Sarah! Daniel recognized it. Marcus, where are you? Noah squeezed his mother's hand. Daniel motioned for them to stay, silent. Then Marcus spoke again. You should have stayed quiet. A flashlight beam swept across the basement. Daniel realized they were trapped, but Noah suddenly pointed toward a narrow maintenance tunnel behind the crates. His eyes widened. Mom showed me that. Tunnel? Daniel nodded. Let's move. They crawled through the passage, just as Marcus entered the room. But halfway through the tunnel, Sarah suddenly stopped. Daniel looked back. What is it? She pointed at the wall. There was a small metal panel with a fingerprint scanner. I've never seen that before. Daniel placed his hand against it. The panel opened. Inside was a recording device and a folder containing photographs of Daniel's family. Sarah stared at the photographs, then she whispered, They weren't planning to kill you at the hotel. Daniel looked at her. They were planning to take someone. And on top of the folder was a photograph of Daniel's 8-year-old daughter. Daniel's face went completely pale when he saw the photograph. His daughter, Lily, was standing outside her school, smiling beside her backpack. The picture had been taken that morning. They're watching her, Daniel whispered. Sarah nodded. I think that's why they needed you alive. Daniel looked at the folder again. Beneath Lily's photograph was a handwritten schedule showing her school pickup. Time. His hands tightened. We have to get to her. Noah suddenly pointed at the recording. Device. Maybe that tells us who? Daniel pressed the button. A man's voice filled the tiny tunnel. Once Hayes signs the transfer documents, the company will be ours. If he refuses, use the daughter. Daniel froze. Then another voice answered. What about Marcus? He knows his part. Daniel stopped the recording. Sarah looked at him. Mr. Hayes. I know. He had trusted Marcus for 9 years, but now every missing detail made sense. The hotel bombing had been designed to frighten him into following instructions. The security breach had given the attackers access to his schedule, and Marcus had been positioned close enough to control every move. Daniel pulled out his phone. No signal. Noah looked toward the tunnel entrance. We can get out. Through the old parking garage. Daniel stared at him. You know another way? Noah nodded. My mom and I use it when the elevators don't work. They hurried through. the narrow passage and emerged behind the hotel. Police vehicles surrounded the building. Daniel immediately grabbed a nearby officer. "My daughter is in danger. Someone inside my security team is involved." The officer called for additional units. Then Daniel's phone suddenly rang. It was Lily's school. He answered. "Mr. Hayes, your daughter was picked up 20 minutes ago." Daniel's heart stopped. "By whom?" The secretary hesitated. "A man from your security team. He said you authorized it." Daniel looked at Sarah. "Marcus." Then another call came through. This time, "Marcus." Daniel answered on speaker. "You should have listened to me," Marcus said. "Where is my daughter?" "She's safe, for now." Daniel's voice shook with rage. "What do you want?" "You're controlling shares. Sign the transfer documents and you'll get her back." Daniel closed his eyes. Then Noah stepped closer and whispered something. "Ask him where he is." Daniel understood. "Where are you, Marcus?" Marcus laughed. "You're smarter than I thought." A faint siren sounded through the phone. Marcus's voice suddenly changed. "What was that?" Daniel smiled for the first time. "The police." Marcus hung up. Minutes later, officers tracked the call to an abandoned warehouse outside the city. They found Marcus with 2 accomplices and Lily unharmed inside a locked office. The evidence from the hidden room was enough to expose the entire scheme. Marcus was arrested. Weeks later, Daniel stood outside the hotel with Sarah and Noah. He looked at the boy who had saved his life. "You knew exactly what to do." Noah smiled. "My mom taught me that when you're scared, you still have to do the right thing." Daniel looked at Sarah, then at Noah. For the first time, the billionaire understood that courage wasn't measured by wealth, power, or security guards. Sometimes it came from a frightened child who simply refused to walk away. 3 months later, Daniel stood in the hotel lobby beside Sarah and Noah as a new security plaque was unveiled. It carried a simple message. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about protecting someone even when you're afraid. Daniel had promoted Sarah to head of employee safety and created a scholarship fund for hotel workers' children. Noah became the first recipient. But Daniel never forgot what happened that morning. Whenever he passed the spot where the bombing had occurred, he remembered the little boy grabbing his hand and saying, "Don't move, follow me." One frightened child had saved a billionaire's life and uncovered a betrayal hiding behind millions of dollars and years of trust. If this story touched your heart, please like this video, share it with someone who believes courage can come from anyone, and subscribe to Kindness Corner Stories for more unforgettable emotional stories. And tell us in the comments, which city and country are you watching from? Because sometimes the smallest voice in the room is the one brave enough to save everyone.